And welcome back to the Family Medicine Rocks podcast on a Sunday night here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. My name is Mike Sevilla. The last topic here we have this evening has to do with Whitney Houston, who was pronounced dead yesterday in Los Angeles, California, on the eve of the Grammys. The Grammys are going on right now as I speak. And I am looking at my Twitter stream here, and people are doing a lot of commenting on the Grammys ceremonies here, and just follow on the hashtag Grammys. But I was thinking about this last night as I was watching the coverage there, and the things that kind of stick out to me. I was looking at Wikipedia last night. I'm looking at Wikipedia right now as far as the discography, as the timeline as far as the number one hits, and goes all the way back to 1985 and 1986. Songs like "Saving All My Love for You," "How Will I Know," "Greatest Love of All." And that was, that was junior high and high school days. I know people are going to throw stuff at me saying, come on. But, back then, I listened to a lot of pop music. I was a pop music guy back then, still now. And, those were the songs that, shaped my life, that, that my friends were all listening to. We all kind of listened to, pop music. Of course, back then in high school and junior high, we knew people that listened to all kinds of genres of music. But the people I hung out with were mainly pop music. And I remember listening to Casey Kasem's American Top 40 and all the countdown shows and listening to and tracking my favorite pop songs, popular songs. And those were the songs back then, that that all the this was obviously before American Idol. This was before all these TV shows were on, but all the girls out there were singing these Whitney Houston songs, and it was it was just something that we did back in school. And I just remember all the times back then and what I was doing, and what a different time that it is right now, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. It's just a different time than it is now. And seeing all these news stories about Whitney Houston yesterday and today really kind of takes me back to a time of junior high and high school and even college, even the early 90s, some of her songs back then. And and I remember that national anthem in 1991, the Super Bowl, where just a couple weeks before, the Gulf War began, Desert Storm, Saudi Arabia. We were all, listening and watching that Super Bowl game in January 1991, and we remember seeing that national anthem. And back then, there was no iTunes, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook. We heard the song, we saw the song, and we're like, wow, we have to go out to the music store and buy that song, buy it on cassette. Because, back then there was a tremendous amount of patriotism that was going on back then, especially because of the war that was going on that just started that very month. And that was the time, back then, 1991 in the early 90s. And that is, one of the ways that Whitney Houston, solidified herself in the culture. That is, one of the ways that cemented her celebrity of the mid and late 80s and the early 90s. And just takes me back. And as I'm watching this Grammy ceremony tonight and watching all the news reports for the past 24 hours, it just reminds me, just how much life is short, how much you just have to take advantage of life, how much you just have to take advantage of your situation, try to make yourself better, try to make your people around you better, tell people around you that you love them, that's especially, friends and family and people that you care about, it's just because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen next week. But that's kind of all these jumbled and rambling thoughts that I have here this weekend as I'm watching this Grammy ceremony here this evening, and it was kind of sad, but it is, that Grammy ceremony is really kind of a celebration of music, a celebration of American music, and I think that's how she would want things to be. So I think that is all I have for you here this evening. I think I've went on and on enough, but I will close out the show here with the big hit from 1986 from my junior high and high school years. This is Whitney Houston, the greatest love of all. Thank you for joining me here this evening. My name is Mike Sevilla. Check out the website at FamilyMedicineRocks.com. Give us a follow on our Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter, Dr. Mike Sevilla. And stay tuned for future shows here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. And you can find out more information of our future shows on blogtalkradio.com/FamMedRocks. But you can get all the information at FamilyMedicineRocks.com. Good night from a cold northeastern Ohio. Have a great week, everybody. Good night.